guys, what's up? So my daughter is taking a nap upstairs, so sometimes it'll be a little more quiet. And I thought, okay, I'll come film a video because I was doing my ASMR between her last naps, and I had some nails, and I had some pretty, this is from Free People. I'm obsessed with these tops. This is a large. I usually get extra large, so it's a little tight around my forearms, but aren't they so pretty? I just did ASMR with them, and I thought they sound so cool. They're so pretty. I love Free People. I wish Free People wasn't so expensive, but you know what? Obviously, people are buying it, so they're like, whatever, we're just gonna charge what we charge. Hi guys, what is up? So I feel like I just wanted to do a chit chat video. I feel like this is becoming this channel. This is just like a diary vlog. This should be like rambling, and I love to ramble. I also got some Hanukkah gouts. And if we have time, depending on how long this goes, maybe I'll talk about some of my Hanukkah guilt I'm feeling this year. And I want to celebrate, like, how my daughter celebrate Hanukkah because her father is Jewish from Israel, and like we want to celebrate Hanukkah, right? Like that's how he grew up, and like that's what we want to do. But people will be making me feel guilty because like I'm not Jewish, like the mom's not Jewish, so then like the daughter's not Jewish, which I think is like, I would love to know why. Like, and I'm not even like mad about it. Like, genuinely want to know why. Like, I'm sure there is a reason, and I'm sure like somebody can tell me, and I totally respect it. But like, why is it the mom can be Jewish and the dad doesn't have to be? If the mom's Jewish, then you're Jewish. But if the dad's Jewish and the mom's not, like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't really make sense to me. Sounds a little old school, but hey, I'm not here to argue with it. I'm just like confused by it. It makes me a little sad, you know, because people say what they say, but she is, you know, her father's daughter, and so she's half Jewish, and I'll be like, it doesn't count. It makes me like sad for her because like that's such a part of her like culture on her dad's side, and I don't know, it makes me a little sad. But I just got this more for a snack. I wanted to start eating it, but it's so pretty. I kind of like don't want to open it. Ooh, it's ASMR. I just got them doing ASMR videos too, so I'm really like, and then we're going to talk about some, oh, it was already open. My husband. I know. Most people would be like, maybe we should return that. I'm like, no, my husband opened it. I know him. He has a choco fiend, and he loves chocolate. And I think that's so cute about him. He's like a little kid when it comes to, oh no. Do you guys think I'm going to be able to open this with my nails? This might take the whole video. No. Isn't this like the ultimate? I have to go film a podcast that I'm posting every single day for Vlogmas. I'm posting a podcast every day on my Tingles and Triggers ASMR podcast, which is like so insane. That podcast might retire soon because I'm gonna be doing a new podcast next year with a co-host, and I'm really excited. Like it's like there, it's like right there, and I'm actually really excited, and I'd be really nervous because he's actually kind of like, he's pretty well known. And I'm pretty not, so I'm actually shocked he'd even want to do one with me. And it took a long time for me to figure out if and when I'd want to do like another podcast and stuff. I've had like, how many podcasts have I had? I had like 4 podcasts. I had the Lost podcast, which I loved. Dish with Trish was my first. I had another one called Dish with Trish. I think it was on, oh my gosh, why is this so hard? So I was like, you know what? I was like, I don't want to do one by myself. I like doing it, with someone, but like my husband and I are always together, and like we vlog, and you guys see us like on every channel together. And I don't know, I just want to go someone like, I got it open, but like, how do I eat this now? How do I get this? Oh man, that's gonna be so hard. No, I don't think I'm gonna get this down. Oh my god. I don't want to get chocolate on these nails either. These are like my new sets. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. I didn't put any lotion on my hands because I thought the sleeves covered, but they don't. Okay. This is a mess. My nails are going to be chocolatey, and I don't want them to be chocolatey. Okay. How do I eat this? Me trying to eat Hanukkah chocolate. Okay. It's coming off. Okay, there we go. Okay. Got it. It's kind of not that good. It kind of tastes like chalk. Well, that was a lot of work. I'm trying to get all the chocolate off so I don't like have a chocolatey mess. Okay. 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 Hi, guys. That was a great 5 minutes. 5 minutes well spent. You know, as a new mom, every minute counts. So every minute you get, it has to be very productive and like, and worthwhile. That 5 minutes was definitely worthwhile. Okay. So let's talk about the first period postpartum. Dun, 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 which is like scary. A lot of people are like, oh, the first time going number 2 postpartum, the first time going to the bathroom postpartum. I had a C-section. So I was on, like, I had the epidural because I was going to push, and I pushed for like 3 hours, and then they gave me a higher medication because I had to get a C-section. So then they gave me higher drugs, I guess you could say. And and then after, they give you even a little more if you want. So like, you obviously you numb because you're literally awake while they're opening you up to get your baby out of you, which is like crazy. Did I get chocolate on my shirt? Did I get chocolate on there? Does it look like it? Did I get greasy something on there? It looks like it's like, yeah, nice things. And then they give you a little more after, like, if you want. I was like, can I just have a little more after? And I was a little like loopy with my first like bathroom sesh postpartum. I want to say for the first 24 hours I was on a catheter. Maybe it was the first 12 hours. I was definitely on a catheter at one point, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Did I get chocolate on my teeth? Okay. Did they put you on a catheter? I'm trying to think, because I was like, you know, once I got the epidural, I was like, whoo. But I'm trying to think if they gave me a catheter during birth, because I don't remember going to the bathroom. They must give you a catheter during labor. During labor, they must get, right? I saw it, I can't remember, but I think they gave me a catheter. I think it was just being in that. But I remember peeing when I pushed. Okay, this will be a very TMI video. So if you are someone who's squeamish, doesn't want to know about like the female anatomy or labor and delivery process, then this is probably not the video for you, because I'm going to be kind of just as blunt as I possibly can be here on YouTube. But yeah, I definitely peed while pushing. Well, I guess people like poop while pushing. So I guess it's like, I thought I probably would. I couldn't feel anything down there. It just felt pressured, but it was, my contractions were so bad. I say this all the time, like my contractions are so bad. I always say I have like the perfect pregnancy. Labor and delivery was scary for me. But I'm here, don't worry, the spoiler or good news is I'm here to tell you, like, the first period is not as bad as I've read. Now, obviously, a lot of people had different experiences. Probably some people are like, it's totally, mine went totally back to normal. Like, it was like not a heavy flow on the first day. Like, I was expecting like to wear the diapers again. I was expecting like serious pain, serious flow, like to last like 2 weeks. It only lasted me 5 days, which is my normal period, which was so great. And like, I was really, really bummed to get my period. I got mine 9 weeks postpartum. And I was super bummed because they say 6 to 8 weeks postpartum if you're not breastfeeding. If you're breastfeeding, I guess it can take like up to a year to get your period back. But I've been formula feeding since the beginning. So it said 6 to 8 weeks, and I thought like, oh, maybe I'm pregnant again. So what I've heard is like, and not always the case. Sometimes I've heard like 2 very different things. One, I heard it's like way easier to get pregnant the second time around. And then I also heard that it's like people struggle with infertility way more on the second child. So I definitely heard both. I've seen both in our families. I mean, Moses' family, we've seen both. We've seen like people getting pregnant right away, like within a year of their childbirth, and then, you know, 8 years in between to get pregnant again. So we've seen both. So it really goes to show. But we were thinking, you know, it took a while for us to get pregnant for this one. We took the HSG test and got pregnant right away. That's basically, I've explained it a couple times because a lot of people think I got IVF, and like we were about to do that, but we actually didn't get IVF, but we did get HSG, which is a fertility like test, I would say. It's not a treatment. It's called the HSG test. It's not really a treatment. However, like I think the statistics are like 90% of women get pregnant after they do this test. The test is to kind of see if your tubes are cleared. So they shoot like a liquid up your like uterus tubes or something, and just see if it's clear. It's kind of like going to like gynecologist or getting a pap smear, and they like it does give you cramps. Like, it's weird. The first time I got it done was like in 2018. The HSG tested nothing really. Like, it kind of just said, yeah, your tubes are blocked, and also like I didn't get pregnant. But this test was like, you actually look pretty clear. I was like really shocked because I thought like, oh, they're gonna, you know, and so they're like, you actually look pretty clear. Maybe we'll test your husband's, you know, his reproductive system, you know, they can test that out, his sperm. And so we were going to do that, but we literally left for Hawaii like 2 days after the HSG test. So we're like, we'll just do it in the new year when we get back and test it out. Because I was like, maybe it was like the guys I was with. The guys I've always been with have been a little older, and like they can be harder for them too as they get older. Not as hard for as women when they get older and they conceive, but it can be harder for them, or it could be like dusty or whatever. So I was like, well, maybe it's not even me, because it was like clear, and I was like, okay, whatever. We've been trying for like a year and a half, like trying, and nothing. So like literally that cycle, like I did the HSG test 7 days after my period, or like after my period started, and then it was like the week of my ovulation, and like literally that cycle I like missed it and I got pregnant, which was great. But we just knew it could take a while, especially if we're not doing that test again. Not to say we're not, but like we're like, let's just try. So we did. And part of me was thinking like maybe we'll just get pregnant right away again, but I totally trust my body. I know when it's ready, when it's time, it'll happen. So right now we're just like having like fun with it, whatever. I'm not really like mapping out my ovulation week. I mean, it's gonna be a lie if I say I don't map it out, but I don't like, I think before I was like saving it all for ovulation week, and then like when ovulation week would pass, I'd be like, okay, well now we need a break, and it's just like, and then it takes like the fun out of it, right? Because like it's fun. Making a baby is really fun. Like trying is a lot of fun, but when you're really, really trying and it's not working, it can be disheartening. It can be sad. And so yeah, I was just kind of like, it was more like we were just getting it done for ovulation week and then like taking a break, which should be how it should feel. I was a little sad. I was like, 9 weeks, maybe I'm a week, it's not the 6 to 8 week period, maybe I'm pregnant. So I did take one pregnancy test and was not pregnant, and I was like, oh, that's really sad, especially because like on Thanksgiving, like everybody was announcing their pregnancy. Like, I'm thankful for this pregnancy, and I think that's like a beautiful time to announce it. I totally would have too. But it starts to get those feels again where you're just like, and I'm so lucky and so blessed to have, I've had a healthy baby in labor and delivery. And it's so funny because the labor and delivery is kind of like the finish line, and you kind of feel like relieved. But like right away when I like didn't have her inside my belly anymore, I was like kind of sad. It was so great to see her out, but you're kind of like, we had such a connection when she's in the belly, right? It's just me and her, and like it's just so special. I could feel every movement, everything, and it was just so nice. And it's like I had her to myself, you know what I mean? I love sharing her with everybody in the world, and it's great. Everyone can enjoy her love and light, but I was a little sad. And so like I said, I really thrived during pregnancy. I really relaxed. I think I gave myself permission to relax. I gave myself permission to be happy, to eat what I want. And ironically, by eating what I want, I actually like lost weight while pregnant, which is like kind of crazy. I gained weight on the scale, but like as soon as I had the baby, all the weight came out, which was like crazy. And like now I'm even like tinier than I was before, or like tiny, not tiny, but like lighter than I was before. So like it really helped me in so many ways with my own disordered eating, which is crazy. I've talked about it so many times, so I'm not gonna talk about it here, but it was really crazy. And I was just like, being pregnant was just a really great time. Seeing everyone get pregnant now, you're just kind of like, oh man, I want to be pregnant too. I followed this TikToker named Nabella, and I love her. She does Pockets Peace on TikTok, and she had 6 years of infertility, I believe, and they had their rainbow baby this March. And then they're pregnant again. So I don't know like how far along she is, but she announced it on Thanksgiving. So like literally in the course of like 6 months, she got pregnant again. And I thought that was like so inspiring, and I got really excited about that. Sarai, I think Sarai. I know I was crazy, Ray. OG, okay. Here on YouTube, she announced her rainbow baby pregnancy, and I thought that was like so beautiful. I was like crying. I was like seriously crying so much. I mean, she's so young. They're so young, and I think that's just like such a beautiful thing. I even sent her like a DM. I was just like, girl, like I'm so happy for you. Like you guys are gonna be really great parents. I think a lot of people, like not a lot of people, but some people will look at young parents and be like, oh my gosh, you're so young. Like, but they really wanted this. Like they wanted their babies, And I feel like young parents aren't. I always say this because I'm not a young parent. I was 34 when I had my daughter, and I'm looking to have a couple more in my late 30s, so I'm not a young parent by any means. In fact, what do they call it? They called it a geriatric pregnancy. A geriatric pregnancy. I was like, oh, yikes. That's like, I mean, I'm old. Okay. But I thought it was like really, I sent her a note and I said, you're gonna be so great. Like it's so awesome to be like young parents. Like my only regret is I wish I could have had my daughter like 15 years ago. So I could have like grown up, like not grown up with her more, but like, I don't know. I guess it's like, again, timing is where it's at, but like sometimes I get ahead of myself and I start thinking like my intrusive thoughts are like, oh my gosh, like what if I don't get to see her be married? And I have to like get them out of my head right away. It's like, no, I visualize her wedding, like it's gonna be so beautiful. Like I don't have it envisioned for her. I'm not gonna be that mom where I'm like this and this, but I just really want to like see her get married, and I want, you know, I don't know, I start getting in my feels because I watch like Love is Blind, and like, you know, Zainab, a lot of people have their own like thoughts about her or whatever, but you know, I felt for her because like she really wanted her parents to be there on her wedding day, and they both had passed away, I think when she was 13 and 18, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So, you know, those like thoughts get into your head, and I was just like, okay, I just want to like make it to her wedding, and, you know, maybe a grandchild or two. But anyways, I have to like get those thoughts in my mind. Because you know what, I have plenty. I hope I have 45 years with her, at least 50, maybe 50 years with her. Yeah, people live to be, I don't know, I see my parents living to be 90, so I'll be 90 in 50 years. I'll be 84. So, oh my gosh, so she'll be like 56. Yeah, she's gonna have kids. She might have grandkids by then. So, yeah. Anyways, so yeah. Oh, back to the reason of this postpartum thing. So mine was actually only 5 days. It was very like light. And I didn't have to wear diapers. I wore tampons. And for me, again, I gave birth via C-section. I didn't do a vaginal delivery, so obviously vaginal deliveries are probably going to be a lot different, I would assume. But as far as like everything down there, like, you know, I didn't push through. So, you know, I didn't have any issues like putting a tampon in or anything like that. So again, you could probably talk to your doctor about that, but they're very strict like the first 6 weeks postpartum to like not wear tampons, just wear your diapers or pads or whatever. People will say like, oh my God, being pregnant, you're so lucky you don't have your period for 9 months. But then no, you bleed for like 6 weeks after, 6 to 8 weeks after. And it's not too bad. It's like not as bad as you would think. It's literally just like having a period. And with my diapers, I loved it. It was hard for me to like change out of my diapers because I loved having them so much. But, and then the first bathrooms after, again, I think it's probably totally different if you gave birth vaginally and had any stitches down there. Like that was like a fear of mine. And so all my vaginal birth mom was like, you know, I envy you and I don't envy you because I'm sure that's like way more painful with C-section. You know, you have the scar kind of like above your pubic bone. Mine's in my fupa. And so you kind of, that feels more like plastic surgery. Like I've had a liposuction, it's kind of numb and it's really hard to stand and stuff like that. But I mean, I'm sure that's like with stitches too. But, you know, I wish I could have given birth, vaginally. I really did. I just thought it would be really nice, like get to have her right away on my chest, because I've seen them so many times, the birth vlogs where they push out and the baby comes out. I just thought that would be like such just like magical experience. A C-section for me personally wasn't so magical. I was drugged up and I didn't really know what was happening when they were transferring me from one bed to the other. I was like, how are you going to do it? I remember thinking like, how are you going to transfer me from one bed to another? Like, I'm big. They like did it. I don't know how they did it. But the anesthesiologist was really great and my doctor was really great. But it wasn't like a magical experience for me because I was like so doped up. And then, you know, they take her, you know, they're taking her out. Moses kind of like peeked over, but he didn't want to look too much over the curtain. And he couldn't even really see because he's on my side of the curtain because they're, you know, I'm open, you know, I'm open on the table there. So they kind of don't want him to see. He kind of peeks over to see the head. They let him cut the umbilical cord, but I couldn't see any of that. Like I couldn't even see her on the umbilical cord, you know. I just, I heard her cry. Oh my God, I heard her cry. And I heard her, they announce her time of life, which is like so beautiful. Cause like in the movies, you always see like when someone passes away, they say time of death and they like call the time and it's like so sad. But hearing like time of life, I was like 5:31 p.m. I'll never forget 5:31 p.m. on Wednesday, September 14th. It was just like, oh, it was great. And seeing her, I was like, again, I'm kind of like doped up. So I was like, yeah. And my baby, she had a really squished face, but Moses had actually like, when he first saw her come out, her head was like really flat and like long. It was like this. And it was like, and he's like, I really thought like something, you know, something maybe was wrong with her head or something like that. And they just didn't tell us in the ultrasound or something, you know, which would have been fine, obviously, but we would have not been, he just like, I didn't know. And so they kind of like, I guess he said they kind of like molded her head out to the shape that it was. And even like a couple weeks postpartum when we were doing like her hair wash, like it was really soft on top. Like you could kind of see it go, like it was really, really soft because her skull, I guess, is not like fully developed in there or something. But But then I saw her and she was really squished, and it was cute. But you know, you have like, I don't know. I guess I had no expectations of what my daughter would look like. I don't really know like what would even a little me look like. You know what I mean? So when I saw her, it's just like, oh wow, she was so squished, and like I thought she was cute. You know, I thought she was so cute. But I was just like, okay, who does she look like? Does she look like either one of us? Is she like, is this? You know what I mean? She was really unique, and I will say that her face was so unique, and I really do mean that she was cute. Like it was just like. I think with any newborn, straight out, like, they all kind of look different. They're not like ugly. No babies are ugly or anything like that. You know, even the ones that are like, she was just like squished. I don't know how to say it. And so I was like looking over and I was like, oh, just a little squish baby and her little nose. And then we had this like thing wrapped around her. So she kind of looked like a little Ninja Turtle. It was really funny. But she was like, just was like a little animatronic. When I watched back my birth vlog, I just remember being like, her little like eyes, it's like, I was like little animatronic. She was just so cute. Anyways, and then just like having this baby and just like she wanted her face so close to mine, and I didn't know what to do. I just didn't move. I was like, it's okay, it's okay. And in the birth vlog, she just like stops cooing, like she stops or she stops like crying when I talk to her. She's like, okay, I know this voice, and I was just like, ah. Anyways. Not the point of this video, but I just love reminiscing. So then that first bathroom was that night. So I think they put a catheter in after that. Or did they take the catheter out that night? So I must have the catheter in during all that, and they must have taken it out either that night or the next morning, because the night nurses come in and they have you go to the bathroom. And oh my gosh, it was a whole thing. Like going to the bathroom is one, it's like, again, I was a little doped up, so I don't remember much, but it's kind of like embarrassing. Not, the nurses were so wonderful, so none of this is about the nurses at all, but it's kind of like, you know, they're like holding you up, they're in there with you, they're trying to teach you how to like, basically bidet. They give you like a little squeezy bottle and you like squeeze so you can like clean yourself, because I don't think you can wipe, which I don't know why they had a C-section. I think you can like pat. All I remember is that like then use the squeezy bottle to clean, and I stopped using the squeezy bottle after like a day. My husband loves a bidet. I can't really do the bidet. I don't know. I guess it is cleaner in theory. I have to do the toilet paper. You know what I mean? But they're like, yeah, just squeeze and rinse, and they were like, and they're like squeezing the water bottle, and it's really nice. But you know, you're just kind of like, oh my god, this is like. Ooh. But I remember it being just a lot of blood, like very little pee. In fact, I remember it was really hard for me to pee after giving birth. Because I remember they come in and ask, I'm like, I can't, like I couldn't pee. It was really weird. And they gave me, you can't eat after a C-section either, which was like so torture. My water broke at 5 a.m. and I didn't eat since like 8 o'clock the night before. And so I couldn't really eat until 5 a.m. the next day, because you could be nauseous, you could puke, and all sorts of things. So they just give you like, I got these mocktails, which is like Sprite and cranberry, which I'm like obsessed with, and a little bit of apple juice. And they came in these big gray cups, and I like wish I would have kept them because I love them so much. But even with all that, I was drinking those, like downing those, and I like could not pee. It was like really weird. Now the other way, number 2, that took a little while. It was actually like kind of constipated, so that took a little while because you know, if you're on pain medications and stuff like that, I did not take mine at home. I put in pain medications because I just not want to like go down that road. I have a whole video about this, my opioid addiction, and didn't want to like go down that road again, and I was in a lot of pain. But yeah, I think it kind of constipated me, so I couldn't even go to the bathroom. Now my first time I did go, number 2, which like a week after I gave birth, which you might be like, that's a lot. Well, when I was pregnant, I was like constipated for 2 weeks, and I took medication. What did I take? I talked about it on here. Miralax, was it? I don't know. And like it didn't kick in for a few days. So I was like constipated for 2 weeks, which was actually like really dangerous when you're pregnant. So it was really bad. And it's really awful. Now I've been drinking coffee all the time and not constipated at all. So that's nice. My flow is, you know, is regular on like throughout the day, which is, I don't know, I feel like it's helping me stay skinny. It's definitely helped me lose weight, because like I've been able to like, 1, it kind of like curbs my appetite a little bit, and 2, helps the digestion. But yeah, I was a little constipated, and the first time I went to the bathroom after, again, I didn't have any stitches, I didn't push anything out down there, so in that sense nothing affected me, and that kind of just went back to normal too. So I feel like there's so many pros and cons to vaginal and C-section. C-section, you have this crazy scar, and you know, it's, I feel maybe, I don't know, maybe it's like not as personal for me. It wasn't as personal as I was like imagining in my head. Look at that. I got some hot stuff, baby, tonight. Maybe I should turn this way. Oh. And the rain, every time I try to fly, I fall without my wings. I feel so small. I guess I need you, baby. Every time I see you in my dreams, I see your face. It's haunting me. I guess I need you. Okay, this is good. I had to do a TikTok like this 1 second. That was like so much fun. The sun went down so fast, but I was like doing so many takes. I was just really feeling myself in it. Anyways, all right, guys. My daughter is waking up, so I'm gonna go upstairs. But yeah, I'm gonna tell you, I read a lot of scary things about your period postpartum and going to the bathroom postpartum. Again, this is just speaking from someone who had a C-section, so just take that for what you will. I'm sure vaginal is like a whole different thing. So I wish I could speak on that, but I can't. But yeah, I guess I was like the pro of having a C-section, but yeah, again, if I had to choose, I would choose vaginal, but again, there's pros and cons to each. There's a lot of people who had both, so I should probably watch people who had both. I think it's like really interesting to see which one they preferred, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, like I told you, my pregnancy, it was like glowing. It was perfect. I was like, everyone should get pregnant. No, not everyone should get pregnant. If you want a baby, like I highly recommend getting pregnant if you want to carry a baby. But it was a great experience for me. And I feel like there was a lot of horror stories. Labor and delivery, there is a lot of horror stories. Mine was not like a horror story. I was in the most pain ever on my contractions, and they were so intense so quickly. But would I do it again in a heartbeat? Absolutely. Like you're just like, let's do it again. Like I wanted to do it again right away. And I'm like still sad sometimes. Like I can't remember fully or be in that moment of that day. But it's special. It goes quick. Kind of enjoy all of it while you can, even if you are in pain. I remember just like it just went by so fast. Even though I was in labor for 12 hours, it went by like so quick. I felt like I was dilating so quickly. Like it just all goes very quickly. Even though you're just like laying in bed, it goes fast. So kind of like enjoy that. Like the labor delivery, my postpartum recovery was pretty good mental health wise. And yeah, the going to the bathroom after, like I said, I heard some horror stories and it wasn't too bad for me. And the bleeding always kind of scared me because I never knew about the bleeding after. I always saw people making those like pads with the aloe gel. And again, I think that's if you have stitches and are delivering vaginally. So again, with my C-section, I was just kind of like in the diapers. It was hard for me to like stand up, but you really can't like lift up your daughter or your child right away. That's like the other sad thing about a C-section, but I didn't get to choose, so it is what it is. But yeah, the first period is over, postpartum, and now I can kind of see when I'm ovulating, because you don't have a period, so you can't really track your ovulation week. I guess you still ovulate even if you don't have your period, so you can get pregnant even if you don't get your period. So like you're still able to like conceive, but you can't like clock it or anything like that. But I actually am happy that like my menstrual cycle came back. Like my cycle is kind of happy and sad. It was very bittersweet when I got it. I was like, I was hoping to go a whole nother year without my period. Dang. But who knows, maybe for Christmas. But I love you guys so much. Thanks for watching. Congrats to all the new moms that announced on Thanksgiving and during the holiday season. It's so beautiful and it's so wonderful to see. I know when I was struggling with infertility, it was like hard for me to see other people get pregnant and stuff, but now I see it as like really beautiful and it's a gift, and I feel like that means there's baby dust in the air, and if they can do it, if I can do it, anyone can do it, you know what I mean? So because it can be hard. I mean, it's just a natural feeling when you really want a baby and it's not like working out and you see other people, but when you feel that baby dust in the air, just kind of take it in, and you know, it'll come your way if it's meant to be. And if there's always a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. If it's not coming the way you planned it, or there's always options, there's always ways. And yeah, I'm really excited for everyone who is pregnant right now. And yeah, I know there's people who are like, my kids are grown, but I miss being pregnant. And I feel like that'll be me too. It's a really special time, and really, I mean, you're only pregnant a couple times, in your whole life. So and I think with the C-section, he has this like white plastic mouse over there, and I thought it was real. It really scared me for a second. Oh my gosh. Okay. That was scary. I think with C-sections, they said you should really only have 3. If, that's like the maximum. And I think with vaginal, like 5, they say it's like the recommended, like healthy for your body, safe for your body to have 5 kids vaginally, or I mean, there's people that have 19 kids and counting, so who knows? But I think with C-sections too, they're like, you're really only supposed to have 3. I know to be a surrogate, like you can't have had more than 2 C-sections, or you can, maybe you couldn't have had more than 2 C-sections. Maybe that was it to be a surrogate. I don't know. I saw it on a TikTok ad. I wasn't looking into it, but I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching, and I just love. I haven't experienced postpartum hair loss yet, so let's just keep fingers crossed. I'm almost out of the 4th trimester, so let's keep fingers crossed because I have hair for the first time in my life, and I love it. So yeah, I know people experience it. I haven't yet, so don't let them scare you. All right, guys, I love you, and I'll see you in the next video.